welcome all the devotees on the occasion of observing the memorial ceremony of Her Grace Kirtida Mataji. The memorials of Vaishnavas are very, very unusual, are different in the fact that, as explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, at the passing of Srila Haridas Thakur, that all the devotees had a mixed feeling of joy and sorrow. Sorrow because we are no more going to have personal, physical communication or association with that real personality. But the joy in the fact that they have very certainly have a very glorious destination, and also the wonderful example and precept that they have left behind by a whole life of dedicated devotional service. I remember when I was in 10th standard, just when we were about to leave our schoolmates and go to different colleges, we were taking each other's autograph, and one of the boys had written on my autograph book, "If you have a loving mother, treat her with gentle care, for you will not know her value till you see her empty chair." So, whenever we look at this particular chair that she would regularly sit to do her practically eternal service of translation, I'm sure we will all be remembering her. When the sun-like personality shines in the sky, and when we are basking in that sunlight, we do not notice the moon and the stars in the sky. But only when the sun sets, you see the soothing moonlight and the star-like qualities of a person. So similarly, today we will be sharing memories of those devotees who had the good fortune of experiencing that wonderful aspect of a Vaishnava through their wonderful association. Today, of course, the translation will be done by Sri Sarva Damodar Prabhu. It will be done in radios 89. So those who are got the radios, you can put it on. Others can go behind. हम हिंदी का अनुवाद पीछे होना वहाँ जाकर बैठ सकते हैं, या अगर आपके पास रेडियो है तो 89 में डालिए, हिंदी अनुवाद आप सुन सकते हैं. We would like to begin with a small presentation on, as it explains here, down the memory lane. Sri Sridhamasekar Prabhu has made a very beautiful collection of all the pictures that they had. He will be speaking shortly about that, and after that we will move ahead with the program.
Immediately after their marriage, I am just showing it as different phases in her life. So pregnancy, so when she was carrying Radharani and carrying me, motherhood, so there to the left up there is Radharani Mataji, and down there is me. Then of course the next phase was grandmotherhood. Unfortunately we could not find too many photos related to what services she did in the temple, in Nasik, in Khar, in Kolhapur, but through the memories that various devotees will be churning, hopefully we will get a picture of what she did there. So grandmotherhood. So this photo actually shows the entire grandchildren, starting from Radhika, Gandharvika, Gopika, Rasika and Mukunda. Some precious moments that Vrishabhanu Prabhu and Kirtita Mataji spent together. So these are in different points of time. This was during my thread ceremony, 1981. This was sometime I think in early 90s or late 80s when they went to Bet Dwarka together. This is just before they came to Krishna consciousness, just prior. This was on her 60th birthday at Muralidhar Prabhu's house. It was a surprise party. She didn't know that this has been organized. So it was a surprise party, and this was at again Bet Dwarka. Almost 20 years later, after they came to Krishna consciousness, they had been there. And then the final journey. So these are just some memories of her last journey when she was admitted to Bhaktivedanta Hospital on 9th of November 2013, where, when she was admitted, we felt she is about to leave, but she made it well. She got wonderful association of devotees when she was in the hospital. So this is Govind Prabhu. The picture is not very good. It's Govind Prabhu. This is Sukhava Mataji. And this was the day before she was discharged from the hospital. So she was in very good spirits that time. Even that picture over there has been taken at that time. And this was after she came home from the hospital. Her last few days. These are the photos of her. And these two last photos here are on the night before she left, where His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj came and met with her. And I'm just playing one small, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj spoke to her on 3 occasions. Twice he spoke to her and once he met her. This was when he met her, these photos. But I'm just playing something which he spoke to her as, to help her on her final journey.
Please be happy and know that you are with Krishna and Krishna is with you. Your life is perfect. Krishna has empowered you to have the most beautiful family, the most beautiful children, grandchildren, a most loving husband, and so many hundreds and hundreds of people who love you and honor you. Your life is a perfect success. Give your heart to Krishna, and whenever it is His sweet will, He will take your precious soul to His eternal loving service. Thank you very, very much. Hare Krishna.
Haribol. So,
details about Mataji's life. Prakashananda Prabhu, if you are here, kindly come up.
Hare Krishna. My heart actually aches with pain whenever I have to talk about her in past tense. But nevertheless, I feel her presence every moment of my life. So how can one forget a vibrant, loving, compassionate being like her, a surut to everyone, to devotees as well as non-devotees. After 47 years of togetherness, Kirtida left us on 19th of January. We always used to discuss this feature that comes in everybody's life. She would say it would be so nice if both of us could live together. But Krishna fulfilled all her prayers, but not this particular prayer, so I am left alone. In the very first meeting, some 48 years ago, before our marriage, she told me, she was so candid, so forthright, so open. She told me that, don't marry me. I have a serious spinal problem and you will suffer for the rest of your life if you marry me. So my father has actually cheated you. That's what she told me. But then I said that, are you going to leave me if I develop some problems after marriage? She said no. So that said it all. So this togetherness continued all through our lives. Whatever we did it together. So I was also very frank with her. I told her that I have a doctorate and so I have a nice job in the industry. But pretty soon I'm going to leave it. I'm going to join the university for teaching and research. So you'll have to accept that. And I also told her that I'm not so much interested in material things, I'm interested in spiritual activities. So are you game for that? She said, yes, whatever you do, I'll be with you. And she never ever cribbed through all 47 years of our married life, never cribbed about anything that happened. My salary was low to begin with, but then became little respectable as years advanced. So I told her, I was associated with Yogoda Satsang Society. We would go every weekend to Ganeshpuri, to Muktanand Baba, and we went to Kanchangarh to receive mantra initiation from Mother Krishna Bai. So many things we did at that point in time, and whatever I did, she was always with me. She took exemplary care of household and children, and actually, because of that, I could focus on my teaching and my research. If there had been a significant output of students in my career, the credit actually goes to her because I never had to worry about domestic things. She took full care, full responsibility. Occasionally, she would joke and tell the children, "Tumhare papa likhte rehte hain aur padhte rehte hain." That was the only complaint she made. So compassionate, spontaneous. She was, while we were staying in Shivaji Park, she did something extraordinary. There was a friend of hers who was suffering physically and suffering mentally. One day she felt so sorry for her, she held her hand and she said that I offer all my pious credits to you. So don't worry, your life will be okay. And in fact, one of the astrologers told us that was the starting point of her troubled health phase. Anyway, be that as it may, so she went through that. So everything that we did it together. So every weekend we would go to, in 1968 to 1971, every weekend we would go to Ganeshpuri Muktanand Swami's ashram. And wherever she went, she built bridges of friendship. We would go to the park every day of our life for a morning walk, and she made so many friends there. Then practically everyone loved her there, and that's how it helped us to collect our Janmashtami funds. We collected close to 25,000 from the morning walkers. That's because of the friendship that she developed. I'm not particularly adept at making friends. I mean, I can follow, but I can't initiate things. So that's how she was. She did it. She won hearts in Nasik, where we went for preaching, Belgaum, Kolhapur, Goa, and other places. Her greatest virtue was her compassionate heart. And her translating lectures was also out of compassion. She did not want her Guru Maharaj's words to be lost to anyone who came here all the way to the temple. She wanted everyone to know about it. That was her attitude. So I would like to narrate a small little pastime. We used to do preaching in Chembur. We did it for almost 11 years after my retirement. And I would always speak in English. I would prepare my lectures rather thoroughly and give classes in English. And she would simultaneously translate. We never ever discussed what I was going to talk about, but she would translate spontaneously. And at the end of the lecture, many people in the congregation, they would come there and, offer obeisances to her. So how nicely you have spoken. Anyway, because I liked that part of it actually. I said, that's good. You are putting in no effort whatsoever. You are just translating. All the hard work is done by me. But nevertheless, you are doing wonderful service. So, when 3 years ago she was detected with cancer, breast cancer, she underwent surgery, then she underwent chemotherapy, then she underwent radiation and so many things. And after somehow or the other, she never ever had bodily comfort, always suffered. So after her surgery, the lymphatic fluid, it virtually was flowing out almost for 3 months, which caused her a lot of misery. And then she underwent 2 cataract surgeries, 2 wrist surgeries, and one of the wounds on her breast, that took almost 1.5 years to heal. Every day it had to be dressed. So many problems. So she suffered and suffered, but always had a smile on her face. So, had it been not for the full support, moral support and spiritual succor that we got from the temple and all the devotees, I don't think that we would have been able to face this crisis in our lives so very easily. I would like to mention all the devotees, but I would particularly like to mention the role played by Vishwarup Prabhu. He came home, he came with his palliative care people, Vinita Sharma, then Komal and Proshab. These 3 people, they would visit us periodically. And Vishwarup Prabhu particularly prepared her for her final journey. So he came with us to Vrindavan, he came with us to Mayapur, and did his very best to make her very comfortable. So it has been a very fruitful phase in our lives in one sense, though a difficult one, because we had such wonderful association of all devotees, not only Vishwarup Prabhu, but so many devotees from Bhaktivedanta Hospital, and from the temple we had association of so many devotees also. Bhakti Rasamrut Maharaj came and met her a couple of times. Then we had Govind Prabhu, Radha Gopinath Prabhu, Gaur Gopal Prabhu. Gaur Gopal Prabhu came and she said that, I would like to hear you sing Keno Hare Krishna Nam. And he obliged, sang so beautifully. So this way, we had constant support of all the devotees, and this was something which facilitated her being able to face all the crises that we had. So, I can go on speaking because there are so many things that one can talk about. She never lost her sense of humor in anything that she did. She would always joke with the grandchildren. She would joke with the visitors who came to meet her. I particularly remember one episode, one event which I'd like to share with you, that she had to be, in her last phase, she had to be actually helped to sit up. I had to hold her by hand and make her sit up. And one day I remember, I made her sit, and then in a jocular fashion, I said, Your Highness, what would you like to have for breakfast? She said, don't say Your Highness, say Your Heaviness, because it's very difficult to pick me up. So with these words, I would like to conclude. I would like to thank everyone who has helped us to tide over this major crisis in our lives. Hare Krishna.
One thing about Mataji was whenever at least I would visit, and that was also experienced with others, knowing that her situation is so grave, I would be very grave and go there and end up coming out smiling and laughing and wondering, completely forgetting that she had any difficulty. She would, just to make the other person make comfortable and, serve that person and not to be, be in anxiety or worry. Even in spite of all this situation, she would just be joking around and always keeping the atmosphere very light and humorous. Though internally, I'm sure she must have been really having a very difficult time. Prakashananda Prabhu, yeah. And then Radha Priya Mataji can kindly come forward.
Excuse me, we'll be speaking in Hindi. श्रील प्रभुपाद जी, परम पूज्य महाराज, माता जी और सभी वैष्णवों को मेरा प्रणाम। स्कूल के समय में मैंने वक्तृत्व स्पर्धा में अगरबत्ती पे बोला था, अगरबत्ती कैसे जलकर भस्म बन जाती है और परिसर में सुगंध फैलाती है। आज मैं इस अगरबत्ती के आदर्श को आंखों के सामने आपके जीवन में देख रहा हूं। आपने आपकी शक्ति, जीवन का अनमोल समय, प्रौढ़ उम्र में आराम करने का समय का बलिदान करके हमारे जैसे, मेरे जैसे विकारों से दूषित जीव के उद्धार के लिए सारा जीवन लगा दिया। सही समझ में कृष्ण भावनामृत फैलाने के लिए, गुरु महाराज को प्रसन्न करने के लिए आप पूरे जीवन भर प्रयास करते रहे। आप और वृषभानु प्रभु एक सिक्के के दो बाजू जैसे हो। प्रभु जी हमें सिद्धांत बताते थे और आप हमारे स्तर पर नीचे उतरकर उसको जीवन में कैसे उतारा जाए वो आप बताते थे। बहुत बार भक्त ऐसे कहते थे कि देखो माता जी ने सारा जीवन कृष्ण भक्ति और भक्तों की सेवा में बिताया है, फिर भी अंतकाल में इनको इतना कष्ट क्यों। लेकिन मैं तो आपने जो विशेष सेवा की है उसके जवाब में भगवान ने आपको विशेष रियायत दी है, ऐसा ही सोचता था। परीक्षित महाराज को भगवान ने केवल 7 दिन दिए थे, लेकिन आपको भगवान ने अंतकाल के लिए धीरे धीरे तैयार किया। पहले रोग जिसका इलाज हो सकता है वो दिखाया, बाद में 3 महीने की अवधि दी, बाद में 10 दिन की अवधि दी, बाद में हॉस्पिटल में एकदम ठीक कर छोड़ दिया कि अब आप हर पल तैयार रहें। यूनिवर्सिटी और बोर्ड की परीक्षा में तो केवल एक ही बार प्रीलिम एग्जाम ली जाती है, लेकिन भगवान ने आप पर विशेष कृपा करके कम से कम 3 से 4 बार प्रीलिम एग्जाम ले ली, जिससे आप 100% उत्तीर्ण हो। शरीर छोड़ने के एक दिन पहले भगवान ने आपका गुरु महाराज से 1 से सवा घंटे का सत्संग करवाया। लाखों में एक ऐसे भाग्यशाली आत्मा होते हैं जिन पे भगवान ऐसी कृपा करते हैं। मैंने आपके जीवन में 2 बड़े गुण देखे और उसे सीखना चाहता हूं। वो है हृदय की सरलता और दृढ़ विश्वास, सिंप्लिसिटी एंड स्ट्रांग फेथ। आप ये 2 गुणों के उच्चतम स्तर पर विराजमान थे। आपने शरीर छोड़ने के 10 दिन पहले जब मैं आपसे मिलने आया तब आपने मुझे बताया ऐसे ही, विट्ठल मेरी सब बात सुनते हैं, जिसे मैं याद करती हूं उन्हें वो भेज देते हैं। देखो अभी थोड़ी देर पहले मैंने मुरलीधर को याद किया और मुरलीधर आ गए, तो मैंने माताजी को सहज से पूछा, माताजी क्या आपने मुझे याद किया था? तो माताजी ने कहा नहीं, मैंने तुम्हें याद नहीं किया था। देखिए कितनी सरलता, बिल्कुल झिझक नहीं सत्य बताने के लिए। सभी काउंसिलिंग की इच्छा के अनुसार एज अ कोऑर्डिनेटर वृषभानु प्रभु से विनंती करके 1 घंटे की मीटिंग आपके घर में हमने रखी थी। प्रभु जी के निर्देशानुसार सभी को बताया था कि कोई भी भावुक न हो और हर वक्त जैसे सहजिकता से हम जो मीटिंग लेते हैं वैसे ही हम मीटिंग में रहेंगे। लेकिन मीटिंग में सभी के चेहरे अति गंभीर, कीर्तन गंभीर, भजन गंभीर, लेकिन अंत में जब आपको कुछ कहने को कहा गया तो आपने हमारे दिल की बात बता दी और आपने कहा कि आप सब ऐसा सोच रहे हो ना कि ये हमारी अंतिम मीटिंग है, इसके बाद हम कभी नहीं मिलेंगे। कितनी सरलता। और फिर आपने हमें अंतिम संदेश दिया, आपने मृत्यु की आहट सुनी थी। कितनी सरलता, और भगवान ने दृढ़ विश्वास से हमें सर्वोत्कृष्ट अंतिम संदेश दिया और हम सभी को आपने हंसते हुए वापस घर भेजा। आपको पता था कि ऐसी रियायत भगवान ने जो आपको दी है वो हम को नहीं देंगे, पदम पदम विपदा। तो आइए हम माताजी का संदेश बांटें। माताजी ने हमको, हमारे काउंसिलिंग ग्रुप को संदेश दिया कि तुम केवल तैयारी करो। तैयारी क्या है? कृष्ण कथा, भगवान के बारे में सोचना, भगवान का नाम लेना और दूसरे सब चीजों से मन हटा लेना, तो भगवान ही आपकी चिंता करेंगे। जीवन में अगर ज्यादा कुछ जमा किया है तो छोड़कर जाने में बहुत कष्ट होता है, और अगर ज्यादा कुछ है ही नहीं तो आसानी से हम जा सकते हैं। अगर आप भगवान पर आश्रित हो तो हमें फिक्र करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं, वो हमारा पूरा ख्याल रखेंगे। तुम केवल चिंता करो, तुम ठीक से साधना कर रहे हो कि नहीं, वो ही तुम्हें काम आएगा। हरे कृष्णा। ये माताजी का अंतिम संदेश था। माताजी हम आपके बहुत बहुत ऋणी हैं। आपने जैसे कुंभार मिट्टी को मेहनत करके एक पात्र बनाता है, वैसे आपने और विश्वानु प्रभु ने पूरी कोशिश की है हम जैसे तुच्छ जीवों को मिट्टी से पात्र बनाने के लिए। हम आपके बहुत बहुत ऋणी हैं और ये ऋण मुझे नहीं लगता है कि हम ये जीवन में अदा कर पाएंगे। हरे कृष्णा।
राधा प्रिया माता जी से।
Hare Krishna. Kirtida Mataji, she was a wonderful person and very kind, very generous and always ready to help others. So when her health had become bad, then we had gone to see her at her house. And that time, she was, though her health was not so good, still she made some 2-3 items for dinner. So we said, we will not come to see you if you just make all these things. When we come to see you, we will bring things for us. Then she agreed, and then twice we went to her house to meet her. But at that time also she always very Krishna conscious. Anything she talked, she would just say, okay, let us have kirtan. She would talk about Krishna, she would talk about Guru Maharaj. So all the time, nothing else but Krishna conscious. So when we had gone to her house, she served us some chili pickle. So it was very nice. So I just asked her that, Mataji, very nice pickle. How do you make it? So she immediately said, it's very simple. And she gave me the recipe. So at that time I didn't write it. And then I said, then I phoned her after a few days that, can you just give me the recipe? She said, no, don't worry. I will make it and send it to you. I said, no, I want to learn, so please give me the recipe. So she just gave me the recipe. And that time I made the pickle and I told her that it didn't come out the way your pickle was. So she said, don't worry, next time don't bother, I will make and send it to you. Then I said, no, I want to learn. And but after a few days when I was going to make, I had misplaced the loose paper on which I had written down the recipe. So I phoned her. I said, can you give me the recipe again? She said, I told you, now don't you bother, I will make it. So I said, no. She gave me the recipe again, and after 3-4 days, she phoned me again. Did you make the recipe, did you make the pickle? I said, no, Mataji, I will make it. She said, no, but you have to put like this, you have to put this much here, this much. Again, she told me the whole recipe. So her way to help, she just wanted to help others. She wanted to please others. And how she can please in any way, all the time she was ready to do that. Like that, there were few incidents, and any time you see her always smiling, never complaining about any pain, or though she was suffering a lot physically, but still always there was such a sweet smile on her face, which really, we can just remember her sweet smile just looking at the photo. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. I request Muralidhar Prabhu to share his thoughts, and Sahadev Prabhu can often.
Hare Krishna. There are so many things that I can share with all of you, but maybe my wife and Sridhama Sakha Prabhu will do that. But something which Kirtida Mataji impressed me, I'd like to just share a few things. Number one is that for me, like, she was a very attractive personality.
In fact, the first time I met her at a car program, I found her to be very attractive. Much more attractive than my wife. Like that's the way she was actually. In fact, I would say till she left the body, she actually held that grace. Like I would always see sometimes people leaving their body, their, face becoming very shriveled up, bodies completely, but then she had that same charming face, same attractive face. And I would always remember that, how is she like that? And she was just the same. I shared a different relation with her, whenever I would meet her, I would always feel very happy to see her. And that was how she was. So the first time when I met her until the time I saw her actually last when she left was just the same. And in fact, my wife would always share that, I always tell her, and she would say that, in fact, at the time she got married, it seemed she was very beautiful. At the young age also, she was very attractive, very beautiful, That's what she was sharing. In fact, Kirtida, her name came, it was given by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj at the maternity home. In fact, she is the only one in the congregation whose name has been changed thrice. The first time she got initiated, her name was Shobhavati, then it changed to Kalavati, and then when Radhika was born, and when Radhanath Maharaj came there to name my first child, that time he said, I gave her the name Radhika, at the same time said, I want to give you a name. And said, Vrishabhanu, and you are Kirtida. And Radhanath Maharaj, then he told me that I should put it in flash the next day. He said, just put it in flash on Sunday that her name is now Kirtida, then that's how her name became Kirtida. One quality in her is that very eager to preach. She would never miss an opportunity to preach to anyone. Whether it is a sweeper, a vegetable vendor who comes to the house to sell vegetables, or a maid servant who is in the house. One thing good in her, I would see that she would respect each and everyone this way she would respect a devotee. Like how one would respect one spiritual master or one exalted personality, she would give the same respect to each and every one. And she would see that thing that, that each one has to be given that Krishna consciousness. So you would find that a vegetable sender would also say Hare Krishna, maid servant also would be chanting. That was her eagerness actually to preach. And another quality is that she is very convincing. Whenever she would say something, she would be very convincing, but she would convince you. Like sometimes, of course, all of us know that she is a very good cook. But then there are some things which I would not like. And then she would, when I go her to a place, she would say, Murlidhar, if you don't eat this, your life will be finished. You will not. And you have to eat this. It's such a nice thing, very nice. The way you would say, I would feel like I should eat it, And then I would have that. That's how it would be. And my wife would also share the same thing. She would say, the way they would be, the children, when they were children, the way she would convince them to have things. At the time when she was on the bed, myself and she were both of us together in that room. No one was there. And that time she shared something very nice. She said that, Murlidhar, I have one quality. She said, whatever I'm inside, I'm outside. He said, I cannot pretend. He says, whatever is in my heart, that is what I always say or do. He says, I cannot be a pretender. I cannot pretend things or I cannot say things which I don't mean. And I felt that's a very wonderful quality. Like she was what she was actually. And I said, yes, Amma, that you are right, whatever you are saying, and I appreciate that. And, somebody would come and say, please pray for me, or please pray for my father, or please pray for someone. She would genuinely take that seriously. She would say, yes, I'll definitely pray. And she would pray. In fact, one of our brahmacharis, Keshav Chandra Prabhu, said, please pray for my father. He said, at that time, he had come to see her, and she's asking me, you tell me what is your father's name? because I should know, because I should take that person's name and pray. Means that was how she was, so personal she was in her offering prayers. In fact, at a time when she was in hospital, when Palika Mataji also got admitted, and my wife was saying that she was in fact praying for Palika Mataji. She was also a patient, but Palika Mataji got admitted, said I was praying for her also. She was chanting extra rounds for her. And whenever we would go and visit her house, and when we would leave the house, we might have visited so many times, but every time I would see that when we would go out of the compound, both my father-in-law and my mother-in-law would be standing at the window and would see us till we are out of their sight. You can be sure that they are standing up to watch us, and with a smile on their faces, both of them would just, as if they are seeing for the first time. Like suppose if a guest comes up first time, how we will see them off. But it is not the first time, but every time we go to the house at car, when we go out, they have their balcony, and from the balcony, when I would sit in the car, we were sure that we have to look up and they are there, for sure, Till we go out of the compound and go out of the sight, they will always be there. That's what I always remember. And again, last few days when I was there, I told that Amma, I love you very much. She said, Murlidhar, I know that, even I love you. So, it was very nice exchange that had. And another relation I shared with her, that not of mother-in-law and son-in-law. Like, I adored her, but whenever I would even call her, he said, Amma, and she would say, Murlidhar, she would be always very excited. Murlidhar, said. And whenever I would go out to house, like, she was the only one whom I would always shake hands with. Like, our greeting each other was like shaking hands, like, she would shake hands with me, and that's how we would greet each other when we would meet. Anytime, wherever it's, whether it's in temple or in the house or anywhere, like that. So that was the thing which I shared. I liked it very much. She considered me as her friend. I didn't, but then, she said, Murlidhar, and say, Amma, how are you? And she would be very frank. She would say, oh, I'm not good today, or I'm okay, like that, whatever. She would be just frank. But then greeting was like this, handshake. And my wife would always say that her friends would consider Kirtida Mataji to be more close to her than herself. Like, means her friends would be more close to Kirtida Mataji than her. That was how the relation that she had shared. And, of course, last few days, I did not serve her much all this while she was here after her marriage. But then, last few days, definitely I had an opportunity to do personal service to her. Because I realized that, whenever anybody would come to the hospital, she would say, press my feet. So I realized that is one seva I could do. So whenever I would go, I would just press her feet. I would continuously press her feet. I would not preach to her, because preaching everyone else was doing. My brother-in-law was doing, my wife was doing, and everyone else were talking to her, Krishna conscious philosophy. I would just go and only press her feet. And she would like it. And sometimes she would just shake her right leg, and I would understand that to press her right leg. Then she said left. And while she was listening, she would say, then this hand, and then sometimes say this, and then I understood, then it would be like this. But always the left hand would be near the wall. And I am also fat. So it was difficult for me to find some places there, but I would just jump up the bed and, go near her and press her hands. So, and all the other members said, just tell him to stop. And she would say, no, let him. And I would continue, like that. So, when Govind Prabhu was there, and he was preaching to her, he was just nicely discussing Krishna consciousness philosophy with her, and I was pressing, and then she just, shook her left hand. I understood that I had to go up. So then said, how can you come up? So she said, no, just like a cat finds its way up. So similarly, he'll find his way up, so then I just jumped up. So it was very funny, but then I am very thankful that she allowed me to serve her in this way. And nice, wonderful moments I had with her. I will always miss her. I'll remember her definitely. Wonderful, glorious leaving of her body. And that's all. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
On 2 occasions when I was in the hospital, I saw she would, chastise him and mischievously look at me and say like that. So they had a very amazing relationship. So Sadhu Prabhu and Radharani Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So I am making this presentation on behalf of my wife Sucharita Devi Dasi, because she was very close to Kirtida Mataji. She always had very great appreciation for Vrishabhanu Prabhu and Kirtida Mataji's loving relationship. So I am just trying to put her emotions in these few words. Vrishabhanu Prabhu and Kirtida Mataji were ideal grihast couple, living an exemplary grihast life. Such mutual understanding, cooperation, tolerance, compassion for each other. Although I cannot think of her in isolation of Vrishabhanu Prabhu, but she herself had unique and outstanding qualities. From their early days in Krishna consciousness, this is how she was concerned about Sri Ramasakha. Their conviction in the process of Krishna consciousness, they got completely and intensely involved from the beginning. Soon thereafter, their daughter Radharani Mataji got married to Muralidhar Prabhu. Their son Sri Ramasakha, Siddharth at that time, was adamant not to follow the path of Krishna consciousness. In those days, there were actually many evening programs and house programs, practically 4 or 5 days in a week there were programs. So being very enthusiastic, they did not want to miss any of them. But Kirtan Mataji often used to tell me, my wife, about her concerns for Siddharth, that although she would make complete arrangements for dinner, actually she never neglected her duties as mother, before leaving the house, she felt that Siddharth may not feel lonely, left out and neglected by us, and he may develop an adverse feeling or prejudice towards Krishna consciousness. This was her feeling which she used to tell my wife. This was her dilemma. Therefore she always used to tell, please pray that my son become a devotee and accept Krishna consciousness. And Krishna ultimately responded to her intense desire and prayers, and Siddharth, Sri Ramasakha, became such a nice devotee in due course. It is not that because of some same age and lot of association, including every Friday at Scarf Center, I would feel very comfortable and closeness with her, but because it was her selfless love and her loving reciprocation. She was genuinely humble and simple at heart. Indeed, she was friend to everyone. She had selfless love and caring attitude. She was always eager to serve the devotees, very enthusiastic for preaching, and loved telling stories. She was actually a treasure house of stories. As far as my personal realization is that I always used to call her Jagat Mata because of her motherly affection. The nature of motherly affection is that that affection is selfless. So I always perceived her motherly affection towards me. She had the unique quality of appreciating devotees and always felt grateful for even small things. Her enthusiasm was unparalleled. In spite of having so much pain and difficulties and other problems, she would travel to temple and other places in bus, public transports, having so much difficulties in transport. She was a perfect example of Utsaha, Nishchay and Dhairya. She was the Shan and Jan of Khar program, actually, life of the Khar program. Her presence was enlightening. She always used to interact had some comments or realizations or stories to tell, or even quoting some Maharaj's comments after the lecture. Her departure is a great personal loss to me, and I will always miss her association, but she will always remain alive in my heart. To conclude, most important, or rather the only important thing in her life was Krishna and the association of devotees. Her life revolved around Krishna and devotees. Thank you. Hare Krishna.